Hello and welcome back to Learning New Testament Greek, and today we're going to go over Chapter 7 vocabulary. So let's dive right in. Let's see, what's our first word? Our first word is remember your smooth breathing mark. Lambda, let's see, phi, omicron, sigma. We're going to add a comma and an omicron over here. Alright, so what do we have here? We have adelphos, adelphos, adelphos. Ha. What's this ha? Remember I said that in our vocabulary we're going to have an article after a noun to tell us what gender it is, just like the lexicons do. So, what gender is adelphos? It's masculine, because it's using a masculine article. Very good. Now what does adelphos mean? Well, adelphos is brother. Brother. Adelphos. The city of brotherly love. Philadelphia. Phil comes from a word meaning love, emotional attraction, things of that nature. So it's the city of brotherly love. Adelphos. Adelphos. Alright, next up. You find that word a lot, particularly in the epistles. You find lots of adelphoi. Okay. Next up, an important word. Alpha, tau. My alpha looks a little funny, but that's alright for the time being. And it's another masculine noun. Alright, now I need to put a breathing mark on this diphthong. Which letter do I put it over? That's correct. The second letter of the diphthong gets the breathing mark, and in this case an accent as well. Yes, you can't have an accent and breathing mark on the same word. I think our next word does the same thing. Anyway. Alpha iota? What sound does that make? Matos. Imatos. Imatos. Imatos means blood. Imatos is blood. So, adelphos, brother. Imatos, blood. Alright. Next up. Iro. Iro. And again, it has a smooth accent and a smooth breathing mark and an acute accent on the second letter of the diphthong. So, iro, not pyro, because smooth. So, iro. Iro. Iro means I take up. I take up. The marker? Iro marker. I took up the marker. Okay, so iro. Now, what article does it get? Correct. That was a trick question. It's a verb. Verbs don't get direct articles most of the time because it doesn't have gender. Now, there might be a few constructions. I don't like to use the word never when I'm teaching Greek because as soon as I do, someone will show me some sort of exception. The rules we use are rules that we've derived from what we've seen. So our rules are just a system to help us understand what was written. Much like our English has rules, but when we speak to one another, we'll break the rules and we'll still know what was meant. So the apostles and the disciples, the authors of the New Testament, they didn't always follow what we thought were the rules, and sometimes they have some really neat constructions. So whenever someone tells you someone had bad grammar, like they like to say Peter's grammar wasn't as good as John's or something of that nature, although Peter's grammar is harder to be understood than John's. John uses a less complex grammar. It's typically we start out looking at John's writings for new students because he has a little easier to understand, easier for us to follow grammar. Alright, now that rabbit trail's gone, I think the rabbit took off. So let's see. Oh, no, let me tie that up. When they say Peter has worse grammar, that's from the standpoint of us trying to determine what the grammar was. Not that he necessarily had bad grammar. It's just different from the rules that we've laid out here in our English-speaking society. All right. So you have Adelphos, Imatos, Iro, so brother, blood, I take up. Now we need us another verb. Alpha with a smooth breathing mark. P, Omicron, Kappa, Tau, Epsilon, Iota with an acute accent. Nun, Nun, Nun. In the Hebrew, the letter Nun, the equivalent is the letter Nu. And so if you hear me call one of these a Nu or Nun, this is a Nu. This is a Nu, that's a Nun. So when you hear me say the Nun, that's why, because I flip-flop the Hebrew and Greek. It's terrible. All right, last letter. Omega. Appa. Let's try that again. Apakteno. 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 And you see it's a verb. Whoa, there's a bigger underline than I anticipated. Apakteno. Till the verb because of the omega ending. Apakteno means I kill. Apakteno. I kill. Okay, so you have brother, blood, I take up, and I kill. This is a verb-heavy lesson, it looks like. Blepo. Blepo. I like the word blepo. Blepo is I see. Blepo, I see. There's another word for see, but blepo is used very often. The other word used has slightly different connotations, but blepo is the standard word for I see. Blepo, marker. I see a marker. And you'd see it too if I hold it in frame. But I see a marker. I blepo. You are blepoing this marker right now. You blepes because you are seeing. Blepo. Alright, what's our next word? Oh, I like this word. Epsilon, sigma, theta, iota, omega, with a smooth breathing mark. Esthio. 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 Esthio means I eat. Esthio. Esthio. I eat. I like that word. I like to eat. Alright. Since we hit the bottom of our column, let's go over them again. Adolphos, brother. Imatos, blood. Iro, I take up. Apakteno, I kill. Blepo, I see. Esthio, I eat. Alright. How many more do we have? I mean, that's 6. Looks like we have 2, 3 more. Alright, let's get started then. Or let's get finished, I guess. Now you see this word has a article. That means it's a noun, and it's a masculine noun because it's ha. So, ha, cosmos. Cosmos. Cosmos means the world. The root meaning of cosmos is organization or system or order or something of that nature. So when the Bible speaks of the cosmos or the world, it's talking about the order, the civilizations, the structure, society, people, things like that. In certain circumstances, it can mean in the world physically, but typically it's talking about the order and the structure. Like the enemies of the flesh of the world, or the enemies of the Christian of the world, the flesh, and the devil. The dirt and the stars aren't necessarily your enemy, but the system of the world is. So the world there is more of a system than it is the physical. The physical typically will use the word gay. that's a feminine noun. We'll get there. Don't worry about that. So that's an extra word. That gay means earth. Cosmos means world. Right. Cosmos. All right. Ployon. Ployon. Ta. Ployon. Ta. Ployon. Ta. Okay. Just checking something. Make sure I hit that right. Ployon. Ta. Ta. It's an article? What gender is it? It's neuter. So this is a neuter noun. So ployon is a neuter noun. Ployon. Ta. Now, if you were to see ployon in the wild, you might just imagine it could be an accusative ending, because the masculine accusative ending is on, so cosmon would be the accusative of cosmos. So you might see ployon and think, hey, ployon's the accusative of ployos. Well, you're going to have to learn these words. This is why vocabulary is important, so you won't think ployon, ployos are my word, this is accusative. No, you have to remember that ployon is neuter, so ployon is the nominative as well as the accusative, so that adds a layer of complexity. Anyway, ployon. Ployon. Ployon means boat. Boat. Christ got in a ployon and cast off a little from the shore when he spoke to the crowd. Ployon. All right. One more word, I think. Yes, one more word. Well, there we go. My upsilon looked a little funny there. So, sigma, upsilon, nu. Not noon, nu. Alpha, gamma, omega, with a acute there on the alpha. Soon, ago. Soon, ago. Sunago. Sunago means to gather together, from the word ago to lead, and sun means together. So literally it's to lead together, but to gather together. Sunago. To gather together. You're familiar with the word synagogue. Well, in the Greek it's synagoge, or something along those lines, because that's where the faithful Jews would gather together at the synagogue. So the sunago is to gather together. You can gather together, let's see. I have here some crayons. I'm going to gather these crayons together. I have gathered them together. I have sunago the crayons. Just, hopefully that helped. Anyway, alright, let's go over all of them again. Adelphos. Adelphos means brother. Imatos. Imatos. Blood. Iro. Iro. I take up. Forgive me. Apokteno. Epokteno. Epokteno. I kill. Blepo. Blepo. I see. Estheo. Estheo. I eat. Cosmos. Cosmos. World. Ployon. Ployon. Boat. Sunago. Sunago. I gather together. Alright, that does it for Chapter 7 vocabulary. Join me next time. Go ahead, take a look at the exercises for Chapter 7 if you haven't done so already. The link's down in the description for the book. Just find Chapter 7. It's page 28, 29, somewhere in that vicinity, this version, you're going to find the exercises. Go ahead and I'm going to break the exercises up into 2 sections because I want to go a little slower on them because they're sentences like we've done the last couple. So we're going to do the first, I believe, we're going to do the first 3. Yeah, we're going to do the first 3 next time. So go ahead and get the first 3, work on them, or if you want, do all, I believe there were 5 or 6, anyway. Go ahead and work on all of them, but we're going to talk about the first 3 next time. Then we'll talk about the remaining and wrap up Chapter 7. Alright, you got it? Make sure you know these, and I will see you next time.